Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Once again, I am Nicodemus Kane. Today is February the 17th of 2022. Today I'm going to read Psalm 111. Feel free to follow along if you need to, if you want to. I don't really have anything else wise or important to say other than that. No real updates. Yeah, I really don't have anything else. So we're just going to jump right into this. Psalm 111. Praise ye the Lord. I will praise the Lord with my whole heart, in the assembly of the upright, and in the congregation. The works of the Lord are great, sought out of all them that have pleasure therein. His work is honorable and glorious, and his righteousness endureth forever. He hath made his wonderful works to be remembered. The Lord is gracious and full of compassion. He hath given meat unto them that fear him. He will ever be mindful of his covenant. He hath shown his people the power of his works, that he may give them the heritage of the heathen. The works of his hands are verity and judgment. All his commands are sure. They stand fast for ever and ever, and are done in truth and uprightness. He sent redemption unto his people. He hath commanded his covenant forever. Holy and reverend is his name. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. Amen. It's another short one, half page. We look like we continuously get short ones until, oh look, 117 is two verses. Wow. That'll be an interesting one. We will have to find something to talk about whenever we do Psalm 117. I'm just saying. But they're mostly short right up until 119. I'm going to keep going on and on about that because it's coming up. Still trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. I'm still thinking I'm going to have to cut it up into sections. All right. I need to clear my throat, man. Thankfully, it wasn't until after we got done reading that before my throat started closing up. Let me take a drink so I'll give you some dead air so you don't have to hear me gulping. Okay. I feel better now. All right. Let's go through this again. The biggest takeaway from this is that God's commandments are everlasting forever and ever, which is something that a lot of people don't want you to believe. But it's just not true. It's verses or Psalms like this, writings like this in the Bible that tell you otherwise. Let's start from the top. Praise ye the Lord. I will praise the Lord with my whole heart, in the assembly of the upright and in the congregation. The works of the Lord are great, sought out of all them that have pleasure therein. Which is absolutely true. Sought out of all them that have pleasure therein. One of the first things that happened to me upon my journey was as I was coming into the flat earth belief, which a lot of people, you either believe it or you don't, and that's fine. I'm not going to tell people what to believe anymore. But one of the things that I did when I started on this journey was I started realizing just how amazing the world is. I never really looked at it like that. I had always thought that this thing, this earth, whatever it was just there. There are beautiful places, there are ugly places. There are places that man has completely destroyed, and there's places that man has completely built up that are amazing. But I never realized what God had done. The minute things. I wanted to say intricacy, but I don't think that's the right word I'm supposed to be using. It's the smallest things to the biggest things. And that the biggest things are tiny. And by that I mean it's all right here close to us. It's not like he made this great expanding universe where we are just over in a corner of nothing and he's on the other side of the table. I don't want to use that line again. I don't know why. I don't know why I saw JFK. Remember the old movie JFK? And there's that scene where Tommy Lee Jones is being interrogated, and I might have even mentioned this in a video where where they're asking him if he had people where he had brought people into his dining room and he was sitting on one side and he had somebody sitting on the other side, and he made this like grandiose gesture about well, that's the point of having such a long table, so that you can sit at one end and your guest can sit at the other. And I don't know why that stuck, but I have used that line so many times within the past like 4 months, and I I almost used it here too. We're on one side of the table, and there's God way on the other side of the universe, on the other side of the table. I don't know why. I don't want to use that line because, man, I every time I say it now, I'm like, why am I still saying that damn line? But the world's not like that anymore. It's not some big grandiose thing. We're all right here. We're all right here on this plane, this enclosed earth, this enclosed system, and he's right there. And the beauty of it, the beauty of the clock, of the way that this works, of the way that the sun and the moon chase each other in the sky, and the way that the wind blows and the waves, the tides go through. Somebody was asking on either Twitter or Facebook how the tides work. And I was like, well, the waters move because God says the waters move. God says that the angels make the waters move. I don't know if it says it in the Bible necessarily, but it says that God, he causes the waters to move and churn in the earth. In Enoch, it says that it's one of the four angels cause the tides. One of them causes the winds, one of them causes the tides, one of them causes something else. I don't remember what it was. And then the other one takes care of the stars or something. But, and of course, I've said this before, those four angels that sit at the four corners, those are the same four riders of the apocalypse. Those are the four. The riders of the apocalypse are not some crazy wild demons on horses. Those are the four angels, the four main angels above everything. Those are the four angels that sit at the corners of the earth. Those are the four angels that I think those are the four angels that took Enoch around and showed him everything. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. But those are the four. Those are the four angels that stand with God in his holy chamber. Those are those angels. If anybody ever asks you, that's who they are. Those are those four angels. So it's, of course it's nothing to be feared. It just means that, the judgment is at hand. The only thing you do have to fear is that if the judgment is at hand and you have not followed followed in God's footsteps, followed his commandments, you might have a problem. But it's the work. It's the thing that he created is so amazing. And the from the skies to the clouds to the sun to the moon to everything and how everything flows together and works. I used to go outside and just absolutely marvel at everything. It opened my eyes. It was amazing to me to be able to see the whole thing with fresh eyes, to be able to see the whole thing in such a new way that floored me. I actually cried several times. I'd go out and I'd tear up. I said, it's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I'd tell my wife, I said, it's so beautiful. You have to see it the way that I'm seeing it. It is absolutely incredible. It is amazing. And to think that, the lie of it is that you are nothing. You are worthless. You are meaningless. You are dog meat. According to Neil deGrasse Tyson, you are a sack of feces. I heard that the other day, and I wish I could remember the exact wording that he had, but he was talking to William Shatner, and I think Shatner asked him, what are we? What are we made of? And he said something like, you are, this something cosmic amounts, or, conglomerate, some kind of scientific jargon ass nonsense. But he ended it with like, of feces, of fecal matter. That's what he said. It's like, basically, in a roundabout way, he was saying you're a sack of fecal matter. And I was like, did you just call me a sack of shit? Is that what you're saying we are? We're just shit in your eyes? Dude, come on. That's what they want you to believe. That's absolutely what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that you came from nothing, you are nothing, and when you die, you will return to nothing. And that's it. That's all you get. That it doesn't matter. That everything you do doesn't matter because you're so worthless and pathetic that nothing matters at all. That's what they want you to believe. And God showed me there's a different way. He showed me that that's not it. That's not how this works. God showed me he's right there. He's right above us. Maybe 75 miles up, maybe 100 miles up. I don't know, but he's right there. The earth is his footstool, which means right outside the barrier, he's there. He's living in water. I don't know how that works, but, there are some things we're not supposed to know yet. But, and yes, I say there's water up there because there's waters above and waters below. If earth is God's footstool, then his footstool exists inside of water. There's something there that we do not understand. There is a chamber. It must be full of water. I don't know. Maybe the footstool sits inside of a pool of water. Who knows? There's something going on there. But he's right there. He's right above us. He's not, 20 billion miles away, in some far out, part of the universe that we can't even remotely comprehend. And, like they say that it takes a radio signal, 40 years to get out to like a, planet Saturn or something. It's like Saturn is just now starting to listen to, Hitler make a broadcast or something, something crazy like that. And to get you to believe that means that you will believe that it takes that long for your prayer to find God. That's not the case at all. He's right above you. He's right there. He's more than willing to listen to you. All you have to do is open your heart to it. But man, this world just takes that away from you. Just takes it away from you. And the first time I saw past the lie, I looked up and I said, "Oh God, it is amazing. God, it is truly beautiful. It is absolutely amazing the thing that you have made. It's this. It's not mechanical. It is a natural clock that moves and runs itself. Something that no man could ever make in his entire life, and it works perfectly. It's just utterly amazing. And then you add in, the we talked about the song of the trees. Then we've talked about the we talked about the song of the angels in the sky, and the bioluminescence, the singing, or no, what was it sonic luminescence? Was the singing of the angels in the water that create the stars. The all these things wrapped up together in one big package, and you're just like, oh my God, it's beautiful. I cannot believe that this is actually such a thing. But that's that line, man. The works of the Lord are great, sought out of all them that have pleasure therein. And the other tie-in to that is it is it is the glory of God to hide a thing. It is the honor of kings to search a thing out. I still don't remember where that is. I should have that written down because I use that one all the time, and I don't have that written down. It's a proverb. It's like one of the first proverbs, like first or second proverb. I don't remember where exactly it is, but that's in there somewhere. Sorry, I just sniffed right in your ear. I need to blow this before anything gets out of hand. I was listening to I don't know what it was. Just something. YouTube has been feeding me some crazy stuff. Not not conspiracy stuff, not truther stuff, just, random stuff. And I think I was burning time, and I was trying to listen to like somebody talk about comic books or something. I don't know. I mean, just like the history of comics. One of those history of the background of characters or whatever. And because I do read comic books, I know I'm terrible. I want to sit here and preach about God and preach about the Bible and all this stuff, but I read comics. Yes, I read the comics back to back with my Bible. Thank you very much. Um, I do enjoy good fiction. It does not rule my world. It is just good fiction. It is something I've done for a long time now, and I don't read modern comics because modern comics are trash because they're all agenda driven garbage. Um, I've been going back and reading the old stuff, the stuff that I missed, back in the day, um, which has not been that bad, really. Yes, there's a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't be reading, and I get it. You can claim that for everything. I understand it. But he was making a video talking about it, and he was one of those, you could tell he's one of those lesser known channels that just didn't care. It's like stream of consciousness kind of things, and even though he had a script that he was kind of running off of, but he was reading and just stopped and blew his nose and just kept going and didn't edit that out. And I was like, ugh. I mean, some people are okay with it, and some people think it adds humanity to the videos, and that's cool. That's fine. You can think that. I don't like that personally, so I try to give you guys the dead air because I don't edit these things. This is you get what you get, warts and all. So, but I just heard that the other day, and I said, man, That would kill me if I did that. Now, I'm sure I have in one of these videos where I thought I hit the mute button and I didn't, and you probably heard every single second of me sitting there blowing my nose. Anyways, now that we've strayed way off topic, verse 3. His work is honorable and glorious. Yes, it is. And his righteousness endureth forever. He hath made his wonderful works to be remembered. The Lord is gracious and full of compassion. He hath given meat unto them that fear him. He will ever be mindful of his covenant. He hath shown his people the power of his works, that he may give them the heritage of the heathen. Eventually we will take from them what they have stolen from us in the first place. The works of his hands are verity and judgment. All his commandments are sure, because God has never given a bad commandment. They stand fast forever and ever, and are done in truth and uprightness. And there's a lot of people that can point to certain commandments and be like, oh, you're going to take a woman out into the middle of the street and stone her to death? Can we have that talk eventually? Can we have that talk eventually? I don't like that any more than anybody else does, but that is a commandment. That's a talk. That's a talk to have. Again, that's some rough stuff to talk about. People don't want to talk about that stuff. And I am not for killing anybody in the street. I think it's sick and disgusting. But it's in the Bible. We have to have that talk. His commandments stand fast forever and ever, and are done in truth and righteousness. You have to have that talk eventually. You have to have that understanding. I'm not going to have that talk right now, because that's a rough one. That is an absolute rough one. But it's in there. You have to have that talk. And I'll tell it to you straight. If it's a commandment that we are supposed to do that, I guess that's what we're supposed to do. I don't know. I really don't know. The law of sacrifices, that was never really there to begin with. That was only there to show you that you can sacrifice something. That you have to sacrifice something. You have to work. Take your own time. Put your sacrifice your time and your work and your willingness into something, and then take an animal out to a place and kill it. Those were there to show you that if you do something wrong, God will take it away from you. He will punish you for it. Those that live their lives according to the commandments, don't do anything bad, don't do anything wrong, they don't have to worry about it. Nobody's perfect, of course. Everyone has a sin somewhere along the line. That's absolutely understandable. I think the absolute worst people that you would drag out into the streets and stone to death were the ones that committed pretty bad crimes, pretty bad sins, I guess. I mean, right beside that conversation, you have to have that conversation of not letting the evil ones of this world have children. You have to have that conversation too. This is stuff you have to have conversations about. We have to talk about this and see, how much of it God actually wanted. He wanted evil to be put away off of this world in any way possible. If that means that you have to keep certain people from reproducing, if you have to take people out in the middle of the street, stone them to death, Christ take that away? I think he did. I think he took the whole thing about stoning people to death. I don't know. That's something that we're going to have to read, we're going to have to understand for ourselves. I think a lot of that comes down to, if people were taught better, we wouldn't have this problem. But people are not taught better. They, again, just want to believe the lies of the world, and so they just want to slip into evil. Something I remember reading was they put on their evil like a garment, something like that. But you have to think about these things. You have to think about where this is going. Think about what is and isn't right. What is and isn't a full-on commandment. What is and isn't part of the law. You get into some. Sometimes you can get into some dark territories that a lot of people don't like to hear, and that's fine. That's something that we can talk about. That leads up to what I was going to talk about at the end of this, which we will get to. So let's keep going. Don't run away on me yet. They stand fast forever and ever and are done in truth and uprightness. Verse 9, he sent redemption unto his people. He hath commanded his covenant forever. Holy and reverend is his name. He commanded the covenant forever. He didn't command the covenant right up until he sends his son to take it all away. His covenant is forever. It will always be forever. If you do this, then I will do this. And his covenant is laid out through the Word, through the Bible, through the prophecies in which Christ fulfilled those prophecies. The covenant and the commandments are still there. Let's keep going. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments, and his praise endureth forever. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments, and his praise endureth forever. Now this goes back, once again, to how much of the law and the commandments did Christ do away with, if he even did away with anything at all, whenever he was crucified and whenever he died. How much of it was done away with? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Because Christ came and he said, I am not here to remove the law, I'm here to fulfill it. Which he did. In many, many ways, he fulfilled that perfect sacrifice. He fulfilled the Messiah's role. He fulfilled just about everything you could think of. He fulfilled it. Did he take it away? If he took away the law, if he took away the commandments, we can go out and do whatever we want. You can go out and be that Monday through Saturday sinner, and you can wash it all away with the blood of Christ on Sunday. Just so you can start over and do it again. It's like, I've said this before. I know we've gone over this before, and I keep harping on it, and I should probably stop harping on it. But it is the same thing as if you were half of a perfect person when all this started. You know, you were a pretty good guy. You didn't do anything. Pretty good guy or gal, whatever. You're a pretty good person. You didn't do much. You didn't really lie, cheat, or steal, or didn't screw anybody over. Didn't do any of that stuff. Then you came to Christ. You were baptized. You you asked him to come into your heart, ask for forgiveness and all that stuff. And then you turn around and you blatantly kill 5 people for no reason other than the fact that you wanted to. And you go back to church the next day and you ask for salvation. Will that salvation still be there? Because according to the church, we don't have to follow the commandments anymore. That was nailed to the cross. So what is it? Are we following the law? Are we following the commandments? Are we following just the commandments and not the law? Are we following the law and not the commandments? Which one is it? Because there's a lot of preachers out there that will say that you can get away with just about anything and you'll still be okay. You'll still be saved. You'll be fine. There's a lot of preachers out there that will tell you to try to be good. You know, a lot of them will go so far as doing the whole, live your best life. Live your best life here. You'll get an even better one there, but while you're here, go ahead, YOLO. But if you're not worried about the law and the commandments, then you can get away with all kinds of bloody murder. And a lot of people can say, that's not how this works. Well, I've had enough people tell me that the commandments and the laws don't exist anymore. That we're just supposed to be good. And I'm like, well, what tells us we're supposed to be good? What tells us what good is? And they will say, well, the laws and commandments of God. And I was like, well, where are those? Well, they're supposed to be written in your heart. I said, okay, that's fine. So why do preachers and pastors and priests tell us that we can pretty much get away with whatever we want and we can come back into the church on Sunday and get away with it? I've seen preachers and pastors themselves lie and cheat. What are they getting their salvation back, or are they just false prophets? I need an answer to that. It's a sticky situation. It's a sticky slope. Now, I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, where to go. Again, you're going to have to find out for yourself. Do not believe me. You need to go find it out for yourself. As far as I'm concerned, I am not going to discount the law or the commandments. I'm going to try to follow it as best as possible. I will not be dragging anybody out into the street and stoning them to death. I will not be, what's the one Obama uses to throw the children out to the street, whatever it was. Something ridiculous. He had to pick the worst one possible. we have to at least have that conversation. Because I get so many different conflicting views, especially from those that want to say, oh, the law's done away with. We don't have to worry about any of it. It's written in our hearts. Okay, well, you will definitely see their the proof of it by their works. And then there's others that say that, well, we need the law. We need to follow it. Every jot and tittle. It's like, okay, so how's that polyester blend treating you? you know? I mean, it's there's so many different people that say so many different things. I guess let's try this one. Where it comes down to, see, it comes down to two different things, actually. It comes down to Christ saying, treat people as you would be treated yourself. And that's great. If people would treat others the way that they would treat themselves, I think we would be okay. The problem being is that a lot of people are just trying to screw everybody over. And sadly, a lot of people nowadays are just trying to hurt themselves because they're told that, they're nothing. When you're told you're nothing and a nobody, psychologically that starts doing something to your head. It starts changing you. It starts making you think that you're worthless, so much so to the point that you can just go ahead and hurt yourself as much as possible. And there you go. That's why, the world has become so sadistic. But if you follow that one rule, try to treat others as you would like to be treated, I don't think you would need to have too many problems. On the flip side to that, I go back to the story of the apostles going to that community. I cannot remember which one it is. I think it's in Acts. They no, I'm pretty sure it was Peter. And something like they all got together in this community, and they said we're going to come together, and what's going to happen is everyone is going to bring their share. Some people call it a tithe. I don't really think it was a tithe. It was like their share of what they had for the community. I don't remember where it is. And what happened was there was one guy that did not bring his share. He lied. He lied about his share. He came and they was supposed to bring like 10% of what he had, and they were going to take it and they were going to pass it out, probably to the needy. But this guy lied about what he had. And when I think it was Peter talked to him and asked him if it was truly what he had, and the guy said, yes, this is exactly, this is my portion. And then he died right there. Peter said, you were a liar. And the guy died right there. And whenever his wife came and they asked his wife, they said, did your husband bring actually bring your share? She said, yes, he did, because she knew too. Devious little thing. And she died right there too, on the spot. That's God's judgment. She died They both died right there. So you have to take it both ways. There's another one right here. And give me a second. Because there's one. No, that's something else I'm reading. No. Thought I had something, but I don't. So, but there's, you know, there's that guy lied and he died straight away. Now, was that part of the law? Because he lied against God. He was told to bring his share, to bring his portion, and he just straight up fell over dead. Is that part of it? I mean, is that God's judgment or is that man's judgment? Because man didn't get to have that judgment. God did. So are we completely under God's judgment on that? And if that's the case, should we even consider trying to uphold the law ourselves? See, it's just things to contemplate, things to put in your head and kind of roll around because it's it gets into some tricky situations. Those kind of things that you have to really, really, go through because we know there are a lot of people out there that are speaking differently than what the Bible says. And I am trying my best not to be one of those guys. I am trying to ask the question about what we should do. There are so many people, again, that will say, there is no law. There are no commandments. That Christ nailed those commandments and the law to the cross and that we are free. All we have to do is ask for salvation no matter how bad it is. And those are usually the same people that will say, as long as you come to church on Sunday, you will be saved, and just try to be a better person. Meanwhile, those people, those pastors and priests and, preachers and their congregations are still going out Monday through Saturday. And then you have the other side, which says that you should uphold the law 100%. I've heard some people say that sacrifices are still on the table. That there's still guys out there that are talking about sacrificing lambs, sacrificing goats. It's like this is why the word of God, it is not confusion. The devil sows confusion. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to do what Christ told me. I'm going to try to be a good person. I'm going to try to be a good person. I'm going to follow what God told us. I am not going to be the one that goes out casting the first stones. Maybe that's part of it too. Maybe only like maybe that's only without sin. I don't know. It gets tricky, man. It gets tricky. You got to think about it. You got to think about it for a second. But I don't want to be the one that goes out and does that. I'm going to be the one that says, I'm going to read the Bible and I'm going to interpret it however God allows me to interpret it. If I am wrong, I want to be able to have somebody tell me I'm wrong. If somebody wants to tell me I'm wrong, I want to be able to look in the Bible, find the verse, find the line, read it in context of the entire chapter, of the entire book of whatever it's in, And I want to be able to say beyond any shadow of a doubt, this is the way that God tells us we have to be. Because there's a lot of things that a lot of people say that whenever I really go look into it, it's just not there. I mean, we talk about a lot of different things. Um, but I just want to, I want to be able to, I want to be able to follow it. Want to be able to understand it. Want to be able to understand what I'm supposed to do. How I'm supposed to live. How this works. Because the Father chose to pull a wretched piece of trash like me out of this evil twisted world. He chose me. I don't even know why. I don't even know if I would choose me. But he chose me. He picked me at a time where I was lost inside of my sins. He picked me at a time where there was no way in the world that I would ever stop to contemplate even giving myself over. But he chose to pick me for some reason. And I want to be able to thank him by giving him what he wants out of me. I want to follow him because he chose to pull me. So, whatever that means, whatever it means to follow his word, follow his way, I want to know. I want to know good or bad. I want to know if I'm doing it right. And there are so many people out there that every single time you turn around, it just seems like they're it's like they either don't understand the concepts or they want to only follow the concepts that they understand but still live inside of this evil world. And I'm still inside of this evil world. I have said that before. I am still here. I have not been convicted 100% to be able to take everything I have, sell it, and then go live in the hills. I am not there yet. There is some reason. There is some reason I have not been convicted to do that yet. I've been convicted to do a lot of things, and I've done them, and it feels like I've been rewarded for it because we have definitely come to a better life, to a better place. We're ready to weather a pretty good amount of storms. We're ready to go wherever it is that God needs us to go. But for some reason, He kept me here. He has not told me to go away yet. Because we were right on that verge. We were on that verge of, let's just sell everything and go. Let's just leave. And I prayed for it. And I asked, what are we supposed to do? What do you want us to do? Where do you want us to go? And He gave us this. So I'm here. I don't know why. Maybe it's for our granddaughter. Maybe it's to make sure she's okay. Maybe it's for our new grandchild. We have another one coming now. Maybe it's for me to sit here and keep recording these. I don't know yet. Maybe it's I don't know. There's a reason. There's a reason for everything. So I got to ride this out. See where He wants me to go next. I just want to, while I'm here, I want to do it right. Yeah, I want the truth. I want the truth, the total truth. And that's Christ, the truth, the life, and the way. All right, I'm going to stop. I'm actually going to stop early, believe it or not. I started early. I'm going to stop early. I didn't do all my exercises this morning because I am hurting. It's raining, so all of my joints are hurting. Um, I'm that kind of old where the rain hurts me physically. So I will talk to y'all later. It's something I am not preaching that we should be 100% dependent on the law if I don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm definitely not doing that. I'm saying that if we're going to be one way, we got to be one way. If we're going to be another way, we got to be another way. There seems to be this weird disconnect that a lot of people have made because there are so many false teachers out there that are giving us completely different, conflicting information. And I just want the truth. That's all I want. That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's all it is. And I may say it wrong, and I may say it in a way that will drive people away. I know I've done it before. I will say it in a way that will drive people away, and people will think, "Oh my God, this guy's the worst person in the world. What are we doing listening to him?" And I get that. I understand that wholeheartedly. I absolutely understand that. But I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just trying to figure it out. If anybody knows, let me know, and I will. I'll find it for myself. I will. I will definitely pray about it. Do what I always tell everybody to do. I will pray about it, and God will give me an answer. If God has led me this far, He will give me an answer. He will keep leading me to where I need to hear whatever it is I need to hear. So, thank you guys for listening. God bless you all. Take care of yourselves out there. Find the truth in all things. And I'm sitting here listening to the rain hit our windows. And I know our basement is good and sturdy, but it just reminds me of our old basement that used to leak constantly. So I have this fear every time it rains that there's water coming in, but there's no water coming in. It's a good basement. It's a good house. It just has some issues that we got to work out. It's got every problem we have with this house has a pretty high monetary value on it. So we didn't buy a lemon, but we didn't buy a perfect house either. We bought something in between that it just seems like we're just gonna have to throw money at it until it gets good. So, anyways, I shall talk to you guys later. You guys take care.